So the life of the contractor, man, is an interesting conversation because it's one of those careers that not a lot of people know a lot about. They might see contractors everywhere, they might see construction people everywhere, and they might think they have an idea what's going on. But the inside of the life of a contractor, people that work in the construction industry, is really very different than what people think it is. And so, for me, one of the biggest things on my list of items that I try to accomplish is to get that message out of exactly what it's like to work in the construction industry, because it is so different than the actual perception of what people think it is. And so I would say the life of a contractor is, number one, first and foremost, is a massive number of hours of commitment, to be in the industry. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're always at work, but you're always on, right? Because there's always things that are going on. If you're in the plumbing industry or you're in the asphalt, paving, and concrete industry, there's always things that happen that are emergencies, things that get knocked over in a parking lot that are hazards for pedestrians that might be walking around there. Or, something happens with a water line in a house and somebody's house is flooded. So those contractors, those blue-collar workers and contractors are always really on. There's a huge commitment there. And I think it's, for those people that choose that career of being a contractor, it's just kind of part of who they become, right? It's an assumption of the career that you're always going to be needed, and that that need is just kind of part of the growth of becoming a great contractor and becoming a bigger company. So I think that inside of the life of a contractor, though, there's so much enjoyment, there's so much feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment from what we're able to do. Whether it's building a home or redoing a parking lot, making something safe for people to be able to walk across that wasn't before. There's such a sense of accomplishment when it comes to being a contractor, and every owner of a construction company that I've ever talked to, that is at the core of who they are, is really that feeling of looking at a completed project and that joy that they get, that fulfillment that they get from accomplishing that, from watching it go from nothing to something that is 100% complete. It's really an incredible feeling. And so when you do that, not just as a contractor yourself as an individual, but being part of a team that accomplishes that, it is one of the coolest feelings. And so the life of a contractor, though, is very different than what most people perceive it to be. And I think it's important for you to follow along with those contractors that you might know, so that you can really be educated on what it looks like. So for me, just this morning, I was able to take my 3-year-old out on one of our job sites, put him in an excavator, put him in a skid steer, and man, the look on his face, just the smile from ear to ear, is such a cool thing, right? To watch the young ones want to kind of look up to people in the industry, be part of the industry, and want to start from such a young age, from being so little, they still just look up to the industry so much and want to be part of it. So that life behind the scenes, man, is very different than what people perceive it. And so hopefully, on this channel, on these social media feeds, we'll do a great job of kind of giving you some behind the scenes looks at exactly what the life of a contractor looks like. Is it worth being a contractor? I think that question is a 100% yes. Being a contractor has so many different areas of fulfillment to it. For me, people is always first and foremost, right? So as a contractor, you're able to provide for families. You're able to, build a company where a lot of families can be supported. And you're able to build a culture of a business where people really feel at home, and their families are improved by them being part of the construction industry and being part of a contracting company. And so is being a contractor worth it? Man, I can't tell you as an outsider, being somebody that came from corporate America into the construction industry, I can't tell you how different it really is and how much opportunity there is as a contractor for not just financial growth, but just growth as an individual. You grow so much through the challenges, the unique challenges that we face as contractors, whether it be equipment challenges or challenges at the plant when the plant breaks down. There's a lot of tests, weather. There's a lot of tests that we get as contractors that people don't get in other industries. So there's certainly massive amount of financial rewards if you can build a successful company, but there's also the personal growth that comes along with it, and just, you know, that feeling of fulfillment of being able to build a company that really does a great job of giving back to the community, giving back to our employees. So the life that you are able to build as a contractor in the construction industry is 100% worth the sacrifice, because that feeling of fulfillment is one that I never had in any previous career that I had prior to entering the construction industry. So it is 100% worth every sacrifice that you have to make to build a successful construction company and be a successful contractor. Can you make money being a contractor? This is a complicated conversation, actually, because, you know, in the construction industry, I think there's so many companies. The construction industry, the very foundation of it, is really built up of the smaller contractors, right? The very smallest contractors are the majority of the construction industry, right? Everybody recognizes the big companies that do exceptionally well. Everybody knows their names. They're probably building the skyscrapers, or the big buildings, or the apartment complexes in your area. But you know, there is a lot of money to be made in the construction industry, but the challenge that we have in the industry is that there's really a separation between those small contractors and the education that they have and the ability that they have to kind of understand business and be educated on that, to be able to actually create a company out of it, instead of that being, you know, kind of just a job. They have their own company, but it's more still like a paycheck to paycheck job for a lot of people. So can you make money in the construction industry? 100%. The challenge that we have is that, you know, we need to get down to those people who are starting new small businesses in the construction industry, reach down and lend those folks a hand so that they understand how to grow and scale their business, to go from, you know, in a lot of cases, construction owners are solo entrepreneurs, or they have a couple of employees, to be able to educate those people on how to grow those companies into successful organizations that they can grow and scale, so that they can make the amount of money that they look around and see within the construction industry. So without a doubt, there is money to be made in the construction industry, and it is my goal and my mission with Top Contractor School and the Pavement Group and Lead Revenue, combining all of those resources to be able to kind of reach down and help those smaller contractors be able to get to the size business that they feel comfortable with and that they dream of growing to. Whatever that may be for them, we want to be there to kind of help and support them to do it. But without a doubt, with the right help, there is a significant amount of money to be made in the construction industry, and hopefully everybody out there feels that way that is part of the industry. And if you don't, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you in any way that I can, get you the education, get you the resources, and get you the contacts to be able to put yourself in that situation. So, you know, some of the education that's available in the construction industry, a lot of it, you know, for years and years really came from trade shows. You know, you had to go to trade shows to become better educated, where you get some training on equipment and materials, or how to run your business, or how to sell, or how to market a little bit better. So it took, you know, you kind of going to these destinations and sitting in a classroom and doing that kind of stuff. But now there are a lot of ways for you to continue your education in the construction industry, for you to connect with people, to learn the things that maybe you've always wanted to learn but never really had access to. So you can follow people on social media. You can subscribe to their YouTube channels. There's a ton of education out there, whether you're a roofing person, a paving person, a general contractor, a plumber, a home remodeler, whatever it may be. There are a lot of people that you can connect with and get free resources, right? If you're one of those people that's starting out, you start following people on social media, and you're going to get a ton of free advice, free resources, how to grow and scale your company, how to market better, how to sell better. But you can also join groups. I have Top Contractor School. There's plenty of other organizations out there that are just like Top Contractor School, where, you know, we meet virtually. We do it on Zoom, and we educate people. We've got multiple groups within Top Contractor School, and we do that once a week for each of those groups. We're on a call with a different topic, trying to educate people on how to grow their business, how to recruit better employees, how to sell more jobs, and how to close more of the opportunities that they have. So really, I would say that, how you continue your education in the construction industry is by making a decision to commit to that yourself, and then going out and finding the right resources, finding the right people, and finding the right programs that you might want to be a part of. And to everybody out there that looks at it and says, man, I'm just starting out and some of these things are, quite an investment to get into, there are a lot of groups out there that are minimal investments. But I would also say that if you're not in a place yet to invest, just make that a goal of yours. Don't do it too soon. Don't stretch yourself. Don't be irresponsible, but be willing to take that money and invest it when that is the right thing for you to do. And you're going to know when that's the right thing for you to do. And until then, continue your education by connecting with the right people and continuing to look for those resources that are available all around you online, everywhere you look. So what happens when a contractor does a bad job? I think that everybody, is familiar, either had this experience themselves with, a contractor either, not performing or not delivering the way that they said they would, or they know somebody that had that experience. And, those things happen as a contractor. Sometimes things don't go as planned, right? It doesn't mean that because you make a mistake as a contractor that you're a bad contractor. Sometimes things just happen that are unplanned. But what I like to say is, every time there's an issue, a challenge on a job, it is really an opportunity for us to solidify a relationship by showing the customer that we're going to stand behind everything that we said. We're going to do the right thing, especially when it's most uncomfortable, right? One of the rules that we have at the Pavement Group is when there's bad news, tell the customer fast. When there's really bad news, tell them faster, right? And so when you do a bad job, when you have something that doesn't go the way that you planned it to go, the number one thing that you have to do is own that and communicate what has happened as quickly as possible. Because I think that, most people, they know contractors, or the perception of contractors is that they try to hide these things, right? They try to cover them up. And so transparency and honesty is number one. Just communicate that issue as quickly as you possibly can so that you get yourself and the customer on the same page, that you are educating them on how you would like to handle it, and you give them the opportunity to kind of be part of that process. You give shared control to the customer in how to resolve it, right? But communicating it is really, really important. Some of the best customers we've ever had at the Pavement Group have been customers that at some point along the way we had a challenging job with, right? And the way that we resolved that, the way that we were honest and transparent and really brought those issues to the customer as quickly as possible, it actually solidified the relationship. And those were early lessons that we learned. There was one job that came to mind that we had an issue on, that we communicated that issue to the customer extremely quickly. And I remember my business partner Ed and I sitting there, and he was like, man, I don't know how this is going to go. This could be really bad for us. But we committed to telling the truth. We committed to communicating that issue very quickly. And the response from the customer really validated exactly what we thought. They were appreciative of us, communicating the issue quickly and clearly and giving them options of how to resolve it. And that ended up, they are still a customer of ours today, one of our very best customers. So those situations where things get challenging, where you have some adversity, they are an opportunity for you to grow your relationship with a customer if you handle things the right way. So never be afraid of something that doesn't necessarily go your way. Just handle it the right way. Make sure you stick to your values, especially when it's going to cost you time or money or potentially your reputation with that customer. Telling the truth is always the best option, and communicating it quickly is without a doubt the key to success there. And what happens when contractors do a good job? Well, the number one thing I would say is we're expected to do a good job, right? I always say this, when people talk about the quality of their work or the exceptional experience of their people, I always say that's kind of the price of admission stuff, right? So, when we do a good job as a contractor, I think that the number one thing we have to remember is that that is the expectation, right? We should do those things because it's the right thing to do. We should feel fulfillment from that ourselves, not look for outside validation. Customers hire us because of our expertise, because of what we know, and how we're going to manage their projects and how we're going to make it easy for them. And so when we do a good job, hopefully, at some point you get some praise from customers, but we can't expect it. It is the expectation of a contractor to be exceptional, to deliver a great experience, and to make it easy on customers. So when we do a good job, we should be able to kind of feel that fulfillment ourselves, give ourselves a pat on the back, and move on to the next one. So the asphalt industry, man, is a very unique industry. It's it's a very small industry in some senses, and in another sense, it's a very large industry. So there's different sectors of the asphalt industry. There's asphalt suppliers, which are typically your heavy highway road pavers as well, and those suppliers supply asphalt mix to the smaller contractors that do parking lots and driveways and things like that. But the asphalt industry in general, I have found to be a very unique group of people. It's a very tight-knit group of people, and there's a variety of so many different experience levels and backgrounds. You have everyone from your line stripers and seal coaters to the asphalt paving guys, to the people that do asphalt and concrete, your large contractors, your medium contractors, and your small contractors. But the uniqueness of our industry, man, is there's just so many people out there that I have met that really want to make our industry better, right? That really want to help other people, whether it's the small contractor or the large contractor. There's a core group of people in our industry that are really, really great people and really looking to help each other and really looking to evolve and improve our industry. And so for me, this industry has provided a lot to me personally, to my family, to our company, to our employees, as far as opportunity and stability. It is a recession-proof industry where, when a lot of other companies are really suffering, our industry continues to move forward because asphalt is always going to need maintenance and replaced, and all those things always have to be taken care of. So, man, it's such a gift to be in this industry. I couldn't be more thankful that I was recruited into the industry, and I look forward to watching how the industry evolves over the next 10 years with the evolution of technology and the importance of marketing and all the things that are changing our industry at rapid speed. And then looking back at those people that were part of that core group that really spent the time to lend a hand to help those people that needed it in our industry. So unique group of people, unbelievable group of people, and I couldn't be more happy and blessed to be part of the industry that we work in.